Hi, good evening, everybody. As already told by Vipul, I am Group Captain Manish Sharma, and we would be taking you on a journey for your investment planning, whether it is by way of investing through mutual funds or share market or real estate or risk management as insurance goes on. The topic which we have chosen, it's primarily for the people who are planning retirement or who are retiring or who just retired, but they have some kind of a corpus available and they're wondering where to go, what to do, how to invest. I think we'll cover all that. The idea is to guide the people here who can be benefited by the talk or by associating with us to generate an income for their life. With this, I will initiate my talk, and let me tell you that everybody knows about this gentleman known as Warren Buffett. I'm quite influenced with this guy, so you may find during my talk, some references to Warren Buffett. It is actually intentional, right? So what he says is successful investing takes time, discipline, and patience. No matter how great the talent or effort be, some things just take time. And he goes on to say you can't produce a baby in 1 month, even if you get 9 women pregnant. So the crux of the matter is that when we are on this journey, I mean, I am not going to give you a quick fix solution wherein you hear something and go to the market tomorrow and you find that a lot of earnings waiting for you. No, it's not going to happen that way. There's a message, there's a path, there is a procedure which we'll be discussing, which can eventually lead you to good gains over a period of time. With this, let me tell you, our coverage today would be we'll start with understanding the retirement needs. Why do we, need to plan? Assessing our current financial situations and setting goals, creating a retirement plan or investment strategies, the methodology of investment. We'll also look at the factors which influence the income level. More about it a little later. Diversification and risk management, as I said initially, some basic safeguards. I mean, we'll not get into details of the safeguards, but yes, some basic will tell you. And there's some common mistakes which we all make, and eventually will end by giving some practical tips. Well, to start with the planning, we all know there are two types of income. The basic definitions, I won't spend much time. One is an active income. We all know what is an active income when you're working 9 to 5, 9 to 7, 8 to 2, whatever be the timeline. When you're working for somebody, somebody means even if you're doing a business, you're actively involved in that. That is an active income. And the second is a passive income, wherein you spend little time or small time zones in different work, and then you start earning from there. That's a passive income. So when we talk about retirement planning or income after retirement, what we are essentially saying is that the active income is not there. Okay, so it is not necessarily applicable for those who are retiring from active service. Even somebody who wants to shut down his business and think other ways, okay, enough is enough, so let me only focus on passive income. It's a good advice for him also. What is the basic, when you prepare before investing money, its basic concept is you have a job and then you retire. When you retire, what you do is you collect all the funds, retirement benefits. In terms of the defense forces people, you get gratuity, you get commutation, you have your provident fund, some insurance balance, etc., etc. Then you estimate what is going to be your monthly expenditure, what is going to be your milestone expenditures. You need to quantify what is your required returns, how much do you really want to earn, and then accordingly you need to invest. That is, when you're transitioning to retirement, this is a very first and very important milestone. Why I say important? Because it said a goal without a plan is just a wish. If you do not have a proper plan, if you do not understand your requirements, if you do not understand how you are going to generate the money, it's just a wish. You may want to have 10 crores 10 years down the line, but if you do not have a plan, you may actually not reach that the target. So that is what is retirement planning all about. That if you have to keep it on track, please plan. And when you have to plan, you have to ask certain questions to yourself. What are those questions? Age related questions. First thing is, how much am I going to survive? What is the age expectancy? Whether do I think that I will live 99 years, 95 years, 80 years, 60 years, or whatever? When am I starting? That is also age related question. If I'm starting at 20 for an age of 80, maybe my planning can be very simple. By spending or by investing maybe a couple of thousand rupees, I can reach the target whatever I want to. But if my planning starts in 50s and then I am looking for age of 80, 85, so for those 35, 40 years, my approach may be different. So you have to ask those age related questions. Then asset related questions could be, how much do you already own? I mean, as of today, if you're planning, what do you already have? You have a house, you have a maybe commercial property, you already have some investments, you've got a lot of jewelry, etc., etc., some agricultural land, some investment somewhere. How much do you owe? That is also important. You've taken some loan, you get a house constructed, you take a loan, you buy a vehicle, you take a loan, you send children for education abroad, you take a loan. So all that has to be accounted for. That how much, what is my, in accounting term, we call it as a, balancing the balance sheet. The credits and debit side, liabilities and assets have to match. Then comes the expenditure related questions. Okay, how much do you think on a monthly basis you would need? What would be the inflation? Okay, because it is not that you are going to, when you come out of service, your living standard has to remain same. That is the least. If it cannot go up, but if your living standard has to go down, that means there is somewhere, the planning has gone wrong. Contingencies, cash flows, and medical needs. How much have you planned for contingencies? What all you already have to cater for contingencies? How do you look for planning for contingencies? Contingency is not necessarily medical contingency. There may be something in the family, some commitment, some travel. There could be any kind of a contingency. How much is your cash flow requirement on a month-to-month basis? All this has to be catered for if the plan for or answered to at the time of when you're planning for your retirement or you're planning for your investment post-retirement. When you have a clear answer to all these, that is the time the next question comes, that to achieve all this, how much should I invest? Most of the time, people do not follow this. They think whatever they're investing is sufficient. It may be for all you know, but it may not be. And my experience tells me for last 30 years, I have been in this field, that majority of the time, people are falling short of what they actually needed. In fact, just about 3-4 days back, I was talking to somebody, a retired Air Force officer, and he said that I wanted to buy a house 10 years back at so and so location. It was costing that time. It was costing about 3 CR. I had around 2 CR, but I could not buy it because I didn't have money. And today it is costing 6 CR, and I have 4.5 CR. So what I'm saying is that this is where if he had planned these 3-4 steps earlier, probably he wouldn't have been saying that way. The approach to retirement planning, I mean, they could be better, but I find this is the best approach because this is what I have followed. This is what I have advised people to follow, and I have seen results of the people who have followed that. If you start early, it is always better because your pressure on you is very low. Okay. If I have to talk about me, I started in 1990. Okay. I got commissioned in 1988 and I started in 1990. Automate saving, that is the latest concept. Latest in this, it wasn't there during our time, certainly. But then today you have, it makes a lot of sense to automate your saving activity or investment activity. Because whenever it is manual, there are chances of slippages, there are chances of missing out dates, there are chances of feeling that there's something else is on priority, etc. Okay. So if once somebody starts early, automates saving, he gets an advantage of compounding, which my best philosopher and guide said that it is an eighth wonder of the world. We'll come to it a little later. There has to be an optimum mix. I mean, I do suggest for people who are not taking expert guidance, for them, there's a requirement of optimum mix. Those who do follow expert guidance, the optimum mix definition changes to an extent. But still, as it said, that don't put all the eggs in one basket, that rule applies here also. One needs to draw a proper plan as to, I mean, the entire journey has to be worked out, even after, whenever you're starting, from that day onwards till whatever in normal expectancy your life would be, and whatever your commitments would be, everything has to be catered for, and the entire plan needs to be worked out. It needs to be regularly reviewed. It's not that you go to a professional or you do it yourself. You do it once, work it out. You find, okay, you got say 1 and 1.5 CR, and if you invest it here, 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 your requirements will be met. You make a plan, put it in the file, keep it in the cupboard, and forget about it. We have already done the investment. No, it needs to be reviewed. How frequently, that the professional will tell, because it will change from time to time. In certain scenarios, maybe a monthly review may be required for certain types of assets. Another type of assets in a different type of scenario, maybe quarterly, 6 monthly, annual reviews may be required. And also plan for the risk, whether it is health risk, whether it is risk for life or anything else. People do take loan, even that is a risk. Okay. Now, I will just tell you. I mean, this is over a period of experience, and there are a lot of people who also suggest that to be comfortably retired at 60, 60, we have taken a ballpark figure because majority of the government service people retire at 60. If you're planning to start your retirement planning journey in 20s, around 15 to 20% of annual income investment would actually sail you through to your goals. 80-20 of equity and fixed income ratio can be maintained. Not sacrosanct, and it varies from individuals' risk appetites and also his financial needs. If somebody is in 30s, 25 to 30% one will need to invest to achieve what the somebody in 20s will achieve, with 70-30 ratio in equity and fixed income. As you grow old, it is advised to reduce your exposure to the fixed income, to equity, and maintain a parallel or a comparable ratio in fixed income, which gives you kind of a stability which is required as a regular income. Okay, so in 50s, around 50-50 ratio of 45 to 50% of your income would suffice rather.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind.